Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I just did some quick estimating, and I have more than 50 trees I need to build in the existing part of the kingdom, so I decided to knock a few out in this intro, but in the future, I might not include every single one I build. Anyway, hey there, how's it going? My name is Antlerboy, and welcome to my Minecraft 1.16 survival world. If you're new here, welcome, and remember to consider subscribing if you like what you see in this video, because this type of ambitious survival content is what I do on the channel. I decided to give this fork in the road a bit of a makeover, adding some mossy rocks and bushy goodness, and made a little bit of a cinematic at the end here to keep you up to date, but I've got a lot of progress planned for this video, so let's just get started, and I will see you on the other side. All right, last episode, I said I was really excited to show you guys what I had planned for the interior of this vineyard, and I actually finished it off screen. It's not the type of thing that really turns out well in replay mods, so I decided to just get it done and show you guys right here in this episode. So coming in, I'm really happy with how this entrance turned out. It's just really high ceiling and a lot of these archways. One thing I was dead set on when planning this place was having this staircase to the second floor right here, and I think it just came out really well having this area being so open. But before we check that out, we should check out the other rooms we have here. So to the left here, I decided to make a little bit of a library or a study, and I added a lot of greenery because I think it's easy for these types of rooms to become really similar in different builds. Other than that, it's a very simple fireplace build and a little place to maybe do some work or do some reading. And I am so excited for the new candles. I can't wait to not have to use sea pickles and use actual candles that can be lit. Another thing that I think came out really great is using a terracotta block and a flower pot to make a large pot like this. It just makes it so that you can make a large plant and have it be proportionate and not be just little dinky pot like this. I think these came out pretty nice. Coming over in the other direction over here, we have the kitchen. And again, I didn't go too crazy, but I added a lot of shelves and making it feel like there's just a lot of stuff in this kitchen, and they've baked a cake. When building something like this, I just think of what would be in an actual kitchen and add adequate amounts of storage and some actual Minecraft utility. So adding a furnace and a blast furnace or maybe a smoker or something, just make it actually useful in the game so that if you were to use this as your survival house, it would actually make sense. Another thing I added here in the kitchen is an extra doorway to get down into the wine cellar down here. And I'm really happy with how this turned out, to be honest. I really wish that there were wine bottles or some kind of bottle you could be stacking in shelves like this. For now, I've used these strength potions, which I really wish you could do without the enchantment glint, but I don't think that that's possible. So for now, I'm using this. Let me know what you guys think about that for having wine bottles in there. I'm not really sure about it, so I only did it right here. But other than that, we just have a bunch of wine barrels. Got this huge wine barrel right here, and into these sections, there's just a bunch of barrels stacked. Even though I'm not really a wine enthusiast in real life, I feel like building something like this is just really fun to add some culture to your world. And coming out this way, obviously, we have the entrance over here. This was really part of the big idea I had from the beginning, and part of the reason why I wanted to build a vineyard in the first place. Coming upstairs, I wanted it to feel really, really cozy up here, so you'll see that I went with a little bit of a lower ceiling than downstairs just to make it feel less grand and more cozy. A lot of storage space for clothes or whatever the people living here are going to store. I added this little chair right here where you could probably do some studying or reading, little map of the vineyard, and once we've built everything out here, there's actually going to be a back garden you're going to be able to look out over, so it'll make a bit more sense than seeing the broken mushroom biome and the savanna where I've been harvesting dirt. Over in these corner areas is where I added the bedrooms, and they obviously have quite a view. I didn't add anything in this little hallway area yet. Didn't really have time or an idea what to put here, but coming in here, I actually started using some of our beehives that we've been getting from our farm. Just simple little rooms like this with some paintings, flower pots, and places to sit and look out. The other side over here is very similar, except I made this hallway a little bit longer, so the room is smaller and just maybe a place for the kids to sleep or something. I didn't really dress this room up all that much. Overall, I'm super happy with how this interior turned out, and I hope to be doing more interiors very soon. Let me know what you guys thought about seeing some interiors. I did one last episode and this episode, so please Let me know what you thought. Now that we've taken a look at the inside of the vineyard, I'd like to expand our terrain here a little bit and get into building the cliffs that are going to be on the other side here. So the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have to remove this forest and set up a little bit of scaffolding to know what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to explain to you guys how I go about planning my terraforming. So let me get this forest deforested and start building. Listen, I've been putting off this mountain building for a long time because it's something I've been a bit afraid of doing. Don't get me wrong, I find it very enjoyable to build terrain to fit my own plan for the world, but it takes a really long time and there are a lot of stages to the process. I can't get everything done in one episode, of course, so I'm going to throw in the mountain range building in chunks like this to show off exactly what stages my landscapes go through. As you can see, I lay out rough shapes at first to sketch out where I want things to go. It gives me a lot of freedom to change things I don't like or add sections without building over a ton of finished work. It's a lot like working with clay. You start off with something that looks like a big blob and nothing like what you're going for, and it ends up becoming more and more defined as you add more details and keep working on it. What really helps is if you know what you're going to put on top of the terrain you're building. In this case, they're just smaller peaks to start off the mountain range on this side of the valley, so that strategy doesn't really help me. What I do know is that I'm going to make some mountain passes to walk through the mountain range, so I'll be keeping that in mind when building this. Other than that, it's a lot of looking at the surrounding land and making educated guesses about what would look good and just winging it from there. I try to take the pressure off by telling myself I can always go back and change things, so trying something that could be cool is always worth it. You may have noticed that I left a lot of space at the base of the mountains here to be able to finish the grapevine plantation later in this episode. And I added some more dirt over to the right of the vineyard just to get more of an idea of what I want to do with that area in the future. But let's hop into first person mode and talk about what we do from here. I'll see you on the other side. The reason I'm hopping in here to interject in between time lapses is because I just wanted to tell you guys that this mountain used to look a lot like this. A lot of this mountain scaffolding, as I like to call it. And the back of the mountain honestly could use a bit of scaffolding. What I wanted to say with that is really just that sometimes your world has a lot of this work in progress type of stuff, and that's okay. I mean, at the moment, I'm going to try to finish this in this episode, but there's going to be a lot of big mountain scaffolding going on in the future that's not going to be finished in the same episode that I put it up. Another thing I wanted to run by you guys before we continue this video is what I should be doing next video, and one option could be fixing this area up to make it look a little bit nicer. The second option would be continuing with the mountain project and making the big mountains up here, or at least the outlines for them, and working on this area as much as possible. And then finally, the last option would be working a little bit on this area and extending this terrain out a little bit, and maybe starting on the beaches over on this side. Let me know what you guys think. I would be excited to know what you guys would prefer. I'm going to do, obviously, all that stuff in due time, but see this as an opportunity for your voice to be heard, and I will do whatever the most people want. Anyway, for now, I'd like to get started on working on the gardens behind the vineyard and finishing up the grapevine fields. So let's get back to the time lapse, huh? The stone lines I made as part of the scaffolding earlier actually helped me get an idea of how to place the stone and create that rocky texture we're going for. My plan is for the peaks in this range to get taller and taller as they sneak around the back of the vineyard, and honestly, I'm really excited to fly through the valley once the other side is built, but I'm sure that'll be a while. Another purpose these specific peaks will serve is hiding the castle from view from spawn, which you can just barely see from the right with the nether portal, and I hope it'll make the reveal as you come around through the fields that much more awesome. I'm honestly super excited about expanding this world, so I really hope you're excited to see where my vision is headed because I'm having a lot of fun doing this. As the vines get built here, I want to tell you guys about my Discord server. There's a link in my About tab on my channel, and there are already a bunch of awesome people there, so if you're interested in talking to me and other builders, head over there and check it out. I've actually just launched a community survival server. The best way to get on there is to join Discord and talk to me in the mods a little bit so we get to know you, and you should have no trouble getting invited. The reason it's not totally public is to respect the players who are already on the server, so if you want to be part of a community you can trust, that's a place you can go. So the one thing I mentioned right before the time lapse that never actually got done is the gardens behind the vineyard right here. So I figured I'd actually do a little bit of this more in first person. So let me just get some land ready right here, and I will show you how I'm going to decorate this garden. All right, so I laid down some dirt here and put these fences up to show how big I want the garden to be, and I made these openings just to show where I want the entrances to be. Very straightforward, to be honest. And now I just want to build up these entranceways right here and make sort of a hedge mixed fence, I guess you could say. I'll show you what I mean. What I think I'm going to start off with is something like this. So let me just repeat this all around, and I will be right back with you guys to place down some leaves. This now goes all the way around, so I'm going to start dotting down some leaves, just something like this, in a little bit of a pattern, and I'm going to have to get on top of here, I realize it's a real pain, but I think it'll look good in the end. Let me put some more leaves down here, and I will show you what it's looking like. All right, so I put this in, and I know I'm moving along quite quickly right now and added a path as well, but these aren't really the finer details, so I figured I'd just get this done in bulk. So what I want to do with this area is maybe put some crops here, grow some potatoes and stuff, and have a dining table somewhere with a bit of a grill, or the medieval version at least, and have a little door right here. So I think, let's see, yeah, this is the perfect place to pop in. We'll just have a door coming out of the wine cellar into the garden. I'm going to keep this very, very simple, so just some simple stairs and put the door in, and that should do the trick. Moving on over here, this is the side the kitchen is on, so I feel like it makes sense to have the barbecue right here. All right, so I'm just going to put the campfire right in here, and with some awesome redstone magic. Yes, awesome. I'm thinking we just do something like this, place stairs right here, and that should just about do it. All we need is to get this last block up here, and what I want is actually just a little rack of vegetables and meat right here. So I'm thinking just 2 trapdoors like this, and get some campfires out. Put them down, extinguish them, and then we can get ourselves a few grillable things and just put them in here. Overall, I think that looks pretty solid. Let's move on to the dining table. I ended up having to go through a few iterations, but in the end, I came up with this, and I think I like it. And over here, I would like to use something that I don't think a lot of people use in Minecraft because it's so difficult to use, but the sunflowers actually face the right direction. So I think I actually want to make a bit of a sunflower farm, because where else would I put it in this world? Finally, I think I would like to add one of my signature pumpkin patches right here, so let me get that done, and I will see you right in a bit. Obviously, we're going to have to wait for a lot of the pumpkins to grow to put the sea pickles on there, but as the sun sets on us, let's turn some shaders on and take a look at this place. It is now morning time, and shade over the garden right here, which I think they would probably appreciate when dining right here, because it's supposed to be very warm here in Ventia. And one of the big reasons I wanted to make a dining table here, by the way, is because there's no real space to have it indoors. It's not the largest mansion, and since the weather's so nice in this area, I just made it outside, but this place is looking gorgeous with shaders. Let's check out the rest of the world. This really puts our vineyard progress into perspective, and I'm loving the way this is turning out. I can't wait for the mountains to be on the other side here and for this place to be looking even more complete. But ladies and gentlemen, I am running out of time for this episode. It's been a really fun one. We got a lot of things done. Remember to join my Discord, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you made it all the way to the end, you're the champ, and I appreciate your existence. And until we see each other next time, I will see you later.